The Galactic Council had always considered humanity a minor nuisance at best. Admiral Zex Thara of the Vorthan Empire lounged in her command chair aboard the dreadnought Stellar Dominion, watching the tactical display with barely concealed amusement. The humans had requested an audience, claiming they possessed technology that could revolutionize galactic warfare. Such arrogance from a species barely 2 centuries into space travel. "Sir," her tactical officer chittered, mandibles clicking, nervously. "The human delegation has arrived at the designated coordinates." Zex Thara's scaled lips curved into what might have been a smile on a less predatory species. Around them, the combined fleet of the Council's 3 major powers floated in perfect formation. 200 ships representing the culmination of 10,000 years of military engineering. The Vortans brought their plasma lance destroyers, the crystalline Kethmori their quantum disruptor cruisers, and the insectoid hive contributed their swarm carriers bristling with fighter craft, all to witness whatever pathetic display Earth's primitive military could muster. "What do our sensors detect?" Zex Thara asked, genuinely curious despite her dismissive attitude. The tactical officer's compound eyes dimmed with confusion. "That's unusual, sir. We're detecting no ships in the human delegation zone, just empty space." "Perhaps they're cloaked," suggested Commander Thekfall from the Hive vessel Queen's Vengeance, though their stealth technology was deemed laughably primitive in our last encounter. High-resonant Axi of the Kethmori fleet transmitted directly into their minds, its crystalline voice carrying undertones of disdain. "The mammals likely suffered a mechanical failure. Their fusion drives are so unreliable." Zex Thara was about to order a closer scan when the comm system crackled to life. A human voice, calm and professional, filled the command bridge. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Defense Force. We appreciate the Council's attendance at today's demonstration. Before we begin, I want to assure you that what you're about to witness poses no threat to your assembled fleets." "Demonstrate what exactly?" Zex Thara transmitted back. "We see nothing but vacuum." A pause. Then, impossibly, something began to materialize directly in front of the Council fleet. It started as a ripple in space itself, like heat distortion made visible. Reality seemed to fold and twist as something massive pushed through from elsewhere. The assembled alien crews watched in stunned silence as a ship unlike anything in the galaxy's recorded history phased into existence. The vessel was enormous, easily twice the size of the largest Council dreadnought. Its hull appeared to be constructed from a material that seemed to absorb light itself, creating an unsettling void-black surface that hurt to look at directly. Strange geometries ran along its length, angles that shouldn't exist in normal space, and conduits that pulsed with dark energy. "Impossible," whispered the Vorthan sensor operator. "Sir, this ship, it doesn't fully exist in our dimensional framework. Our instruments can barely detect it." More ripples appeared throughout the demonstration zone. One by one, an entire fleet of these impossible vessels materialized from the dark between dimensions. 50 ships, each one a masterwork of technology that the Council couldn't even begin to understand. Admiral Chen's voice returned, still maddeningly calm. "What you're seeing is humanity's first dark matter fleet. We've learned to harness the fundamental structure of the universe itself. These ships exist partially outside normal space-time, drawing power from the dark matter that comprises 85% of all reality." Zex Thara found her voice, though it came out as barely more than a croak. "How is this possible? Your species was using chemical rockets less than 3 centuries ago." "Necessity breeds innovation, Admiral. When we discovered that several Council species had marked Earth for resource integration, we decided to accelerate our research timeline. Turns out, when your entire species' survival depends on a breakthrough, you tend to find solutions others missed." The tactical displays across the Council fleet were going haywire. Energy readings unlike anything they'd encountered, gravitational distortions that suggested mass distributions that defied physics, and weapon signatures that their computers couldn't even classify. High-resonant Axi's mental voice carried a note of genuine fear for the first time in living memory. "The energy output of a single human vessel exceeds our entire fleet combined. How did we miss this development?" "You didn't miss it," Chen replied, somehow intercepting the telepathic communication. Another impossibility. We built these ships in the spaces between atoms in dimensions your sensors can't penetrate. The dark matter infrastructure exists all around you right now and you never knew it. Commander Thekval's swarm carriers began deploying fighter screens in obvious panic. This changes nothing. Numbers still matter. You have 50 ships, we have 200. One of the human dark matter vessels, barely a frigate by the fleet's classification, rotated toward the hive formation. Space around it began to twist as it charged what could only be a weapons system. I wouldn't recommend that course of action, Chen said quietly. The weapon fired. It wasn't an energy beam or projectile. Instead, reality itself seemed to ripple outward from the human ship. Where the wave passed, the hive fighters simply ceased. Not destroyed, not vaporized. They were edited out of existence, removed from the universe as if they had never been built. The silence that followed stretched across all communication channels. 200 of the galaxy's most advanced warships hung motionless in space, their crews staring at sensors that told them they were facing something beyond their comprehension. The demonstration is concluded, Admiral Chen announced. The Terran Defense Force wishes to formally notify the Galactic Council that Earth is hereby withdrawing from all previous treaties and agreements. We will defend our interests independently from this point forward. Wait, Zexthera managed. Surely we can negotiate. The time for negotiation ended when your species voted to strip mine our homeworld for rare minerals, Chen interrupted. We tried diplomacy. We offered partnership. We even accepted junior status in your council, hoping to find common ground. The dark matter ships began to fade from normal space, reality bending around them as they prepared to return to whatever dimension they called home. But you made one critical error in your calculations, Chen's voice continued as her fleet became translucent. You assumed that because we were new to the galactic stage we would remain weak. You forgot that humans don't just adapt to challenges, we transcend them. The last human vessel disappeared, leaving only empty space and a galaxy that would never be the same. In the silence that followed, Zexthera realized that the age of council dominance had just ended. Humanity hadn't just joined the galactic community, they had evolved beyond it entirely. And now, the hunters had become the hunted. The galaxy had gone silent, listening to the sound of its own irrelevance.